Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Chaos Wolf Games, and I am bringing you City of Heroes Homecoming. So this recently just got sanctioned by NCSoft back in 2022. This originally came out back in 2004, and it actually predates a World of Warcraft. It's a superhero MMO RPG. So what I'm bringing you is a tutorial for new players, whether you haven't played in a while or you're a new player. I am here to give you guys tips and tricks on how to play the game. So the first thing you do is you go on to City of Heroes Homecoming. You can either find it by Google, create an account, and then you sign in with your username and login. And then you select one of these servers here. We'll select Everlasting. And then what you want to do is create a character. You can play the game two ways: City of Heroes Freedom, which is how the game originally launched. You can start with one of 15 archetypes. You can play as a hero or a villain because City of Villains released. Or you can play City of Heroes Going Rogue, which is an alternate universe, which you can either be a hero that's a resistance fighter, which is a villain, or a villain that's a loyalist, which is a hero. So things have pretty much kind of swapped, and you play as what's called a Praetorian. So if you've never played before, I would play in City of Heroes Freedom. And then you choose the origin of your hero. Now this doesn't have any effect on gameplay whatsoever. It's just were you gifted your hero your powers by science like the Incredible Hulk, or you a mutant like the X-Men, magic like Dr. Fate, technology like Tony Stark, or natural like Captain America. And then your playstyle. Do you like to be up front and take all the damage so that your team doesn't have to? Do you like being up front, dealing all the damage? Do you like being somewhat in the fray, dealing a bunch of AoE from ranged? Do you like locking your enemies down so they can't do anything? Do you like supporting your team and healing, or do you like having a bunch of pets, having them go in and you firing off from a distance? So, what we'll do is we'll do melee. So now you've got a few choices here. You've got Brute, which was a villain-only archetype, which is halfway between a tank and a scrapper. Scrappers are big damage. They get double damage when they critical hit. Stalker is the same thing as the villain side, but they can vanish and then they can pop up behind a enemy and then deal damage. So, and then tanks are just survivability, throw it on a bunch of buffs, and then your Arachnos are your villain type enemies, and you stick with a specific archetype until level 24 where you can change. So we'll go with Scrapper, and you can see there's a bunch of power sets. Do you want bonus to hit, bonus to damage, lethal claws like Wolverine, double swords for combos, making enemies harder to hit you, draining their endurance, making them disoriented, damage over time. There's just a ton here. So you know what, let's go with fire melee. You can pick one of two to begin with. We'll go with Scorch. And then here is our defense set. And it'll be a regen fire melee like Wolverine. Fast healing, that sounds good. And then you can be male, female, or just big brute dude. And then let's just let's type in a name, see if it's available. Yep. Okay, that's available. And then we can you can do costume sets. So but unfortunately your costume sets they have to be fully they have to be fully one. Okay. They have to be fully one color. So I mean, I could go through and I could customize everything if I wanted to. So I'll just be a I'll be a black and silver winged Valkyrie, and then you can fully customize your powers. Like I can do red flamed you can customize everything. And then you can also write down what you want your character to bio to be. Like if I made an actual Valkyrie, I could say Odin is sending me from Valhalla to get suitable human souls for his war, and if I wanted to go all that, the full Norse mythology thing. So if you choose Outbreak, then you'll start as a hero. If you choose Breakout, you will be starting as a villain on Rogue Isles. Heroes will be doing the Outbreak and then heading to Atlas City. Galaxy City, I believe you also you can choose whether you go to Atlas Park or Rogue Isles. So we'll be a hero. Complete character creation. Okay. So now we have our inspiration tray, so we don't have to worry about that quite yet. And so now that's just talking about this is where you go to just do for your quest markers. So now we have to talk to Officer Miller. He wants us to talk to the information post. Now we head back to Officer Flint. And then as you can see, and now it's telling us about the map. So if we actually press M, this is the map. That is our marker, which is right there. So if we actually turn that off, nothing's there. But during the tutorial, everything is auto-marked for you and flashing. So with that being everything auto-marked because they want the tutorial to be slightly easy for you. So now we talk to Officer Parks, which is this contact, and he gives you an introduction into your power sets, which you only have 2 powers to start off with, which we have 1 auto power and 1 attack power, which you can have more than that. Now let's talk to Professor Hoffman, and now he is telling you about enemy or mob difficulty. So enemies that are white are the same level as yourself. Blue is 1 level lower than you, green is 2 levels lower than you, gray is 3, yellows are 1 level higher than you, orange is 2 levels higher than you, red is 3 levels higher than you, purple is 4 levels higher than you. So depending on what archetype in the game you're deciding to play, you can potentially take on enemies that are 1 to 2 or 3 levels higher than you, depending. So now we have to go to another contact. Oh, I have to talk to Officer Parks again. Okay, so now it wants us to defeat 2 contaminated, which is right where I was heading. So now the numbers that you guys are seeing going across my powers, that is actually a power reset indicator. Or you can actually go to menu, go to options, you go to Windows, you go to powers and power recharge indicator. So I'll actually turn it off for this tutorial too, because that's how it's set during the game. And now it's just showing you about your hit points, your endurance, and your XP bar. Now we're being introduced to yet another new contact, Sergeant Hicks. He's going to be over here. And now he's telling us about our enhancements. So we just got 2 enhancements. Excuse me, inspirations. That's Righteous Rage and Resurgence. Now those you actually want to hang on to. Do not use them, because those can actually be very useful a little later on. So now we have to go back into this wrecked area and take out 4 more contaminated. So now okay, so the thing that I was trying to do didn't work because I just pressed cancel and not apply. So Windows, powers, apply changes. Okay. So as you can see, my Scorch and Brawl do not have the power time indicators anymore. They're just circles that are recharging, where some people like it like that. I particularly don't. I prefer the countdown timer. Makes it a little bit easier, especially when you get slightly longer cooldown, but I'll leave it for the tutorial. And we just got our first enhancement. So, Talisman of the Initiate damage increases our damage by 33.3%. And then what we can actually do is we can slot this in to our Scorch ability. But what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to hang on to that. And now it wants us to go to the information booth. And it's talking about enhancement levels. So, the higher the level of the enhancement, like it's saying level 1, it does 33, you can slot in enhancements that are 3 levels higher than you. So this character is level 1, so if we got an enhancement of level 4, we could slot it in, which we would be doing a really high damage or accuracy or whatever the enhancement was. But as we gain level 2, 3, 4, 5, then the amount is going to start going down. So since this is level 1, by level 4, that enhancement is going to be flat out just down to 0. It's going to be just useless. Okay, and we just got another enhancement. So we have 33%. We have two 33% enhancements. Actually, you know what? We will slot in one of those. Okay, ask about available missions. Now, Coyote wants us to clean out the thugs and find a formula on a computer to stop the contamination. So now, you're going to go in here. Oh, someone got a different mission. So sometimes, depending, it'll bring you to a different the mission will bring you to a different warehouse. Flower Knight is going to join us. And now that humming that you guys are hearing, that is our objective. So when this game came out, that's what they referred to as glowies. So it's not that one. There it is. So sometimes you can hear it and you think you're right next to it, and it's like we saw right around the corner. And we are done. We defeated all the enemies. We have a mission complete. You just press the exit and you're out. And then when you gain a level, you actually gain one of every of the large inspirations. So if you level up inside a mission, and then we want to press contact, task complete, return to contact, and then that gives us the auto of where the contact is. So as you saw, after that mission, that turned off where it was on for oh, your contact's here, go here. That was on for 90% of the tutorial. Okay, so now talk to Coyote, and we are now in the starting zone, Ellis Park. So now, any new character you make, you can either list as saying you need help, which characters might either help you. You can list to not be helped, or you can list to be a helper. So I'm going to list to not. Okay, so now that ends the first episode. Oh, before we end the first episode, so we got those 2 enhancements and this 1 talisman of the initiate. So what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to mail those to ourselves. Now the way that you mail them to yourself is you go to menu, you go down to your chat handle, and your chat handle is your username. So you press chat handle, little box is going to pop up, and your global chat handle is at whatever yours is. So then you go to mail, you press new. As you can see, I've already sent myself a bunch of stuff, so I'm just going to reply to this one, and then I go to put the enhancement in. There we go. So now let's do the same thing for the enhancements, because I'm going to show you guys what to do with those enhancements later. And these are going to go those are going to go to our actual main character. Okay guys, so this ends episode 1 of the new player tutorial, and I will see you guys on the next one. This is Chaos Wolf Games. Until then guys, I will see you on the next one. Take care.